Hey guys, so we're 6 months in and I just wanted to do a little bonus video and show you sort of what I get into during the week. But most importantly, I wanted to say thanks for your support. We are at over 1.2 million minutes watched, all of me rambling. And to give you guys an apology, I know my quality needs some work. I'm trying really hard, but I'm sort of limited by what I have to use. For instance, this camera is one that I bought specifically to shoot images for print, for my book, for the magazine, for my website, things like that. And it's not really set up to be a great camera for shooting myself. It doesn't have a flip screen, so I can't see where it's focused, if it's in focus, which means it's a lot of back and forth staging the shots, which is why some of my videos are out of focus. I'm trying, but that's one of the things that I hope to be able to get in the upcoming year. However, through the support of you guys from your donations, both on my website and on my YouTube page, and the little bit that I am generating in revenue from that, I've already been able to upgrade my mic. I'm sure you've heard the sound improvement there. I've gotten a softbox for better lighting, so I'm not so dark. And I hope to be able to get a better editing program, a laptop that can support it, a new camera, and a few lenses in the next year or so. So again, thank you to those of you who have already contributed to help me. This week I've been into all kinds of stuff. With the weather breaking, I've been working in the yard. I got in this pallet of driftwood behind me. I got in 400 pounds of dragonstone. I created a Facebook shop so that I could sell the dried goods that I have. I've been working on updating the website. I've been working in the bins. I got a bunch more plants. And I got a few tattoos. I'm going again to get tattooed tomorrow, and that one's going to be a special one. Make sure you check my page to see what that is, because it commemorates my YouTube experience. And I set up a 2.6 gallon Fluval spec, which I have footage to show you of my process there. It's pretty simple. But I basically just wanted to say, sorry my quality isn't great. I'm working on it, and thank you for the support.
You want to be on YouTube with that tape on your glasses?
Oh no! Oh no! Is that what I look like?
I'm heading to my local pet store, which happens to be That Fish Place, because I need to grab some substrate. Fluval, who is an incredible supporter of both the YouTube community as well as the organized fish hobby, had sent me the Fluval 2.6 gallon spec as well as the larger one. And with the dreary weather today, I decided I wanted to play around with doing a rockscape with some of the dragonstone I have hoarded in my basement. I looked online for their stratum and actually discovered it's cheapest if I just buy it from my local store, which was a real nice thing. So I'm heading over there to grab that. Most of the substrates I have in the fish room are of a more neutral color, like I like for my hill streams, as in my 150, or like super fine black sand, and it's just not supporting the rock the way I want. So I am gonna go grab some stratum and get to work on that little tank. So the plan here is to take this dragonstone that I have and try and make some sort of a dynamic scape with it. Now, I am not what I would call a particularly talented aquascaper, but it really helps that I have access to some killer materials. And I also sell these. These are available in my Facebook shop, or you can email me through my website to get estimates. I will ship the rock within the United States and Canada. It's pretty cool stuff. I feel like a lot of the limitations we have as scapers comes from the limited resources in the country, so I'm trying really hard to do something about that. Now, I've elected to use Fluval stratum, and that's for a few reasons. One is that I feel like Fluval is one of the few big companies that truly supports not only the organized hobby through sponsoring events and giving donations, but also YouTubers. they've really embraced the YouTube community, and their products are really good. So I figured I'd give them a nod, and this is the 2.6 gallon spec, and then I'm going to use the Flugel Stratum. And I'm doing this because I want to make sure I get a lot of depth to the back of this tank. One of the tricky things about aquascaping is really getting that forced perspective that makes things dynamic. So what I want to do here is create a tension between the rocks, having the back really tall, about 2/3 the height of the tank or so, and then have a strong directional pull. And you want to avoid that being centered because it makes it feel kind of dead. So I'm just going to take these rocks and play around with placement a bit and see what ends up working. And then I can always add more substrate later on. Again, I am not like a super talented aquascaper here. But I'm going to try my best. Usually you do these groupings in multiples. Like odd numbers. For some reason it seems to turn out more aesthetically pleasing that way. And with this dragonstone especially, you have to be aware of how directional it is. So you want the directions to sort of match up. Now, I haven't studied a whole lot of theory of aquascaping, so I'm certainly not an expert. But I feel like I have an okay eye, and things generally work out pretty well for me. So I kind of like that. I think these guys are a little too close. You know, I'm trying to create a focal point around here or so. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to plant this with, but I wanted some good stonework. So you can see how fast that was. Just playing around with it. I can see by looking through the camera that I need something right here, so I'm going to go check my stash. So I've pulled out these little tiny pieces. I'm going to see if one of them works in there. with. I'm not sure how much I'm going to use plant-wise. I think I might stick some mosses and maybe some bucephalandras in there. I have some pretty cool bucephalandra coming in the next week or so. And we'll see how it turns out. So I'll make sure I put all the links in the description below to the different products I used, to the tattoo shop I went to, as well as the Classic, which I'll be at next weekend in Chicago. And I hope to see a bunch of you there. You know, I've gotten a pretty good response through folks through email and stuff that they'll be there. So I'm hoping it'll be a fun time. And if I can, I'll shoot some footage for you guys. Thanks as always for your support.